this up on the Wall Ministry. That is right. We had to come on early because I am so excited to do this part 2. If you guys didn't watch our first part 1 of the Hinsdale House, go watch that and then come back, or you're just gonna learn backwards. I guess you can watch this and then go back. But I do have to post this real quick. That is right. Viewers, discretion aware. Just because of the content that we're talking about tonight, some might not like it, and that's okay. Go watch something else. I don't know what to tell you. Or watch. I like it. Here's our guest, Hinsdale House Part 2. So excited to have Daniel back on. Let's bring him on and talk about this stuff. What's going on, man? How are you, sir?
Hey, doing good. Just getting finished up playing with a Ouija board here.
Oh, cool.
Check it out. Pretty cool. All handmade.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. So what I didn't put in the intro that I just found out when Daniel came in, we are live at the Hinsdale House, or Daniel's live at the Hinsdale House right now. So if you guys hear anything, just let us know. I'm sure Daniel will let us know if he hears anything.
Or if the chair starts rocking on its own or something weird happens, I'll try to put the camera on it.
Cool. So what's been going on at the Hinsdale House since we talked last? Anything new, or?
I mean, as far as like upkeep goes, I mean, we've been making some improvements here for the guests. You know, new steps for the basement's been installed. We have some new picnic benches and some new stuff for around the fire. Some new equipment.
Nice.
Got some pretty cool stuff.
Awesome.
Stocking the pond up.
That's awesome. So now, if anybody doesn't know what the Hinsdale House or what it looks like, it's up in upstate New York. Would you agree that's probably the most haunted house in upstate New York?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you're over by like Wildwood and everything. Do you think that from the Wildwood to the Hinsdale, it's 2 different types of haunts, or?
2 definitely different types of haunts for sure, but similar in nature. But they're, you know, definitely different. I mean, different people, different spirits, different situations. You know, they have I think they have a lot of energy that are attached to items that are brought into the Wildwood Sanitarium as well. Or you know, like if I get a haunted doll sent here to me, I send it to Wildwood for their doll room. So I mean, we work together. You know, so we've. Since Wildwood's been open, and since actually I bought Hinsdale, Lori and Brooke and the guys from Wildwood have been involved with helping with Hinsdale, and I've been involved with helping with Wildwood as well. So we're good friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of different hauntings and everything, the part 1 completely blew me away. Like, we didn't even have time to get into half of what happened at this house. So thank you again for coming on and do a part 2 with me.
Of course.
But I mean, this is like in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. Like, dude, from what I understand, there's a bunch of stuff that happened on the land before the house was even there, or
well, I mean, we've found evidence of things that may have happened, or past residents that may have been on the property. You know, the town of Hinsdale itself was burned down at one point when during, you know, when the Native Americans were coming through, and there was fighting going back and forth between the settlers and the Native Americans. Yeah. And Hinsdale was the biggest city in Cattaraugus County. Now it's Olean, but you know, you find a lot of signs that point to things that may have happened in the past, but there's not really, there's a lot of folklore stories associated with the house, and then
Right.
there's really what can you want to take the truths that you can get and hold the folklore for what it's worth.
Yeah, for sure. So even before any property was there was already bloodshed. There's already the staining of that ground. And then, let me get my notes. Sorry.
It's
So
okay.
in the 1800s, the surrounding land is steeped by dark local folklore, like you said. So other than like the Indian and settler war, what other kind of folklore is in that area?
There's elemental folklore. There's a people that actually come to the Hinsdale House looking for Bigfoot. We have cryptids that we've captured on camera here that are not like a Bigfoot type, but more like puckwudgies that we've captured. Well, I haven't captured. Other investigators have captured. So there's a lot of other cool energies surrounding the house. Even UFOs. Clara Dandy wrote about it in her book, her experience with UFOs at the Hinsdale House, and
Yeah,
I've tried to dive into that a lot as far as like the energy that's here. Why is there so much energy at this location, and what's making it tick? And I've looked at ley lines, I've looked at the positioning of the location, and I feel like I've seen some UFOs in the sky as well, but nothing like Clara talked about in her book where they were like outside the window. But
right.
I've seen some stuff.
Is that more like gray aliens as like the common alien? Is that what she had in her book, or how did she
Yeah,
describe that?
yeah, like like the lights were shining from the ship into her window
Oh,
on the second floor, like it was that close.
like fifth kind type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And then, so after all the folklore and everything, uh, I think I got their names like Everett Brothers.
Uh-huh.
They're the ones that built the house originally, correct?
That's what we think, yes.
Okay. And then they were also known as not very good people, the two
Uh,
brothers.
they were pinned as not good people, but I don't necessarily want to paint them as such. All the research that I've done on them doesn't say that, because people are pinned them to the folklore stories of people coming, murdering and raping people and stealing their goods coming in off the Stagecoach Trail, which is a folklore story. And then they're pinning that on the Everett brothers who lived here, and there's no proof of that. So I would try not to go down that route, like a
Oh,
lot of
for
people
sure.
do, but um, nothing that I've found shows them as to be negative. There are settlers and iron workers, and um, seemed like good citizens at the time, so
Yeah.
I don't really, it's you don't want to pin a story, like that's the thing. Like when people are investigating here and you go at somebody and you maybe have the wrong information, it might piss them off. So like it's best to try to get the best information that you can get and try to base your investigation off of what you know and what's folklore, and then
Yeah.
try to get the correct answers.
I mean, if I was a spirit and I was dead, stuck in that house, I'd be pretty pissed off if I got told that I was a bad guy every day, that I
Right.
murdered people every day, especially if I just lived my life. Yeah, I get that. Well, I'm glad that got settled because I was like, because they have like a giant story about that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's
Yeah,
truth to every. I mean, there's a little bit of truth to every story that gets passed on from generation to generation. I don't know
for sure.
if that's a true story or not. A famous psychic, Alex Tanis, is the one that came up with that story from when he was here during the exorcism in
Yeah,
1974. But we've found burial shafts on the grounds when we're done ground penetrating radar. Nothing that looks malicious, though. Nothing that looks like the story that's being told, where bodies were stored in the basement in the crawl space, and then
yeah, yeah.
after the winter thaw, dumped onto the hills. But then again, we have a lot more to cover here. We have 10 acres. The original property was 100,
Wow.
and we don't, could there be more? I have pictures of this house behind the house where there's no forest at all, and now it's a full-fledged forest
Yeah.
because of trees and stuff that have grown.
Right. So
So
even if there was, you probably would never even find out because of it. Now it's so overgrown.
yeah, I mean, there's areas that we can look, but there's areas we can't anymore. I mean, it would be tough.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about 1800s to now. That'd be physically, there'd be nothing left even
Yeah.
to look at.
Well, the ones that we found so far, the ground penetrating radar guy that did it for us said that they were in boxes, so they had to be within the last 100 years, I would think.
For
You
sure.
know, so
Yeah.
maybe they were here, you know, within that time frame. And then the other one that we found looks more like a mass grave, but more like something on the Native American kind of
Yeah. Indian
mound.
burial ground. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I'm glad that we got that figured out because I was like, that kind of sounds like a modern, like back in the days, kind of sounds like a Gacy story, like
right.
murdering a bunch of people and putting them behind under his house. So I'm like, yeah, that's. But I'm glad we figured that out because like I said, I'd be really pissed off too.
Well, that's
Every,
why I try to tell people when they come here to investigate, think about what you're saying and how you're presenting it, because you don't want to, if you really want to get the correct story, you don't want to be coming at offensive, coming at energies of humans in an offensive way.
right, absolutely, yeah. So basically, jumping to 1970, after moving in, the Dandy family moved in. Uh,
Yes.
what kind of activity were they getting? Because like from what my notes were, like unexplained fires, noises, shadows, like enough.
Poltergeist activity.
Yeah. So was that like right away? As soon as they moved in, stuff started happening, or
Well,
gradually?
it started with the energy draw of the bees in the house and Mary's room upstairs. And then it was like an incest infestation at the house when they first came here. They had to like have the whole house cleaned out, and it never went away until I got rid of it all these years later. Um, they were having poltergeist activity happening, things flying in the air, dolls moving on their own, cupboards opening up, physical altercations. They were seeing shadow figures and actual spirits, old hags out by the pond, all different, basically anything that you can think of
Oh yeah.
that we today, modern day, would correspond with something in the paranormal. They experienced back then, and I've got to hear that out of Clara's own voice. And I've met with her in the past, and I've flown out to Florence, Oregon, and sat with her and got to hear her stories, and just to kind of comprehend of how they were dealing with stuff back then.
So it's more kind of like Lorraine Warren and everything with the Conjuring House. It kind of happened the same way. The family
Yeah,
moved in, the house made itself known.
right. That's the
Did,
best way to explain it. Yeah.
yeah. Did you have the same experience when you first got the house? Like, did they make themselves known, or did you
Yes.
already know?
No, I did. The first time I came here, I didn't actually really know much about the location at all. I was briefed when I got here from a co-founder of my investigation group, and I was actually a little pissed off because I sat in this chair that I'm sitting in right now, and I sat at a computer and watched the episode of A Haunting. It's called The Dark Forest,
Yeah.
and it's based on the Dandy family that lived in the house. And I just remember saying, I'm not in that house, like I'm not in the house that had the failed structural exorcism. And my co-founder was like, "Yeah, cool, right?" And I'm like, "No, not cool." Like it was freaky because when I walked in the door, it was December. It was freezing out. There were flies buzzing around in the house in the middle of the winter. There was no heat. Just in the living room there was heat, with a space heater and a blanket on the door, and that's how they were retaining heat in this house. And the rest of
Wow.
the house was freezing. And after I grounded myself and did an investigation here, it just seemed like the energies in the house wanted to be known. Yeah, like every piece of equipment that we had, they knew how to manipulate. I didn't even have to tell them how to use it. It's like, oh, we know what this stuff is. We want to talk. We want to be able to talk to you and give you information. Are you willing to accept this? It's like, it was like kind of like a challenge, you know?
Yeah.
It became kind of an infatuation with this
Yeah.
location because stuff happened more than it did at other haunts that I've been to. Known hauntings, you know, like things were happening here a lot more, and it was unlike any other place that I had ever been to as far as investigations go.
So they had already known you or known of you because you've investigated. Did you go in, going back a little bit to the part one real quick? Uh, did you basically, I'm the owner now. I bought this. I'm the caretaker.
I feel like the house put me in the position to take over. I feel like that it picked me. This location picked me because there was a big chance I wasn't going to have this location. There was a lot of factors that went into me having to purchase this location. Number one, I had just purchased a new house with my family, so I didn't really have the funds to just go buy another house.
Yeah.
And then I had to convince my wife that this was a good idea. Number two, because it needed a new roof, new siding, it was leaking, there was black mold throughout the kitchen, needed new electrical, new septic tank, I mean, you name it, it
Yeah.
needed everything, and I had to convince her that this was a good idea and that we should take every cent that we have in the bank and put it down on this house to save it. And I don't know, everything fell into place,
Yeah.
and it worked, and it's obviously still worked. It's a good story, you know, but it could have gone south very easily because I didn't know how I was going to fix the roof. I didn't know how I was going to do anything. I just took a chance and a whim, in hopes that it would come together in my mind that I thought the way it was going to, you know.
Yeah. I know you're going, just in your personal life, I know that you've been going through a lot of stuff. Uh, do you find it calming when you're there? Or do you still get anxious and everything when you're there?
No, I don't get anxious so much anymore. I'm used to it now, and I think the energies here are used to me.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, it's not something that I would be too scared of to be here alone. It is. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Being here alone is kind of a weary feeling. Like when I'm
Yeah.
here, like waiting for a team to check in or something, and you're hearing footsteps going on upstairs. I think anybody would be
Yeah.
like a little weary, you know. Even though it's happened all the time,
Yeah.
you know, it's still, you know, I don't care who you are. When that happens, you get a little freaked out a little bit, you know.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because you still have it in your mind, like, yeah, it's my house, but this is probably like the most haunted house in New York that I'm sitting in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have that in your mind, and you're like, oh, all right. Yeah, and you see something walk past you or something, and you're like, oh, shit.
It was even more so when I first bought it because they didn't have Wi-Fi. You know, I didn't have any Wi-Fi up here. Your cell phone service shut off when you pulled up the road, and
Oh,
so you had no way of getting in contact with the outside world. I had to get satellite internet up here eventually, so we could have some type of connection to the outside world. And even then, so you could only use that during off peak times when it was good. Off regular
oh,
times it sucked. You know, it was like the old cell phone service.
yeah.
Better to use it after 7 p.m. or whatever. You know, like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then eventually, we talked a company into laying some fiber down up the hill, so we could get some Wi-Fi in here, and it's been better ever since, being able to at least be able to communicate with the outside world or make some Wi-Fi calls or contact with people if you need to. You know.
Right, right. Just if just safety reasons, if anything happens. Not even spiritual, like you hurt yourself or something, you're pretty much out there.
Yeah, I was almost. I had to have, like, at the beginning, I had to have like an old landline here just to have to be able to call out if we needed to.
Wow. That's crazy. Did you have a little rotary phone or
Actually, I did. Yeah,
they do? That's cool. That's
yeah.
awesome.
I wanted it to match the decor.
Yeah, for sure. So just to go back to my notes. So they basically just they had an exorcist come in, Father Al,
Yes.
and he's performed. From what my notes said, he performed it 3 times, and then deemed it the property's not.
He didn't perform a structural exorcism 3 times. He came here 3 times. He
Oh,
performed he performed a mass in the kitchen with the family. Came
okay.
and did a house blessing at first. Just blessed the family, and then he did a mass in the kitchen with the family, and then got the okay from the Vatican to do the structural exorcism in April of '74.
Well, and the,
Each
from
time it was effective for a little bit, but then it came back full force.
see that's what you see in the movies, but I didn't. Is it really like? I don't know if you've ever been through anything like that in the house,
I
like
I've been
evil.
through I've been through it in other investigations, but not here.
Okay.
Um, I feel like there is definitely a heavy hitting, not so positive energy here. But I think it was kind of deemed as demonic back in the 1970s because it was
Okay.
either angels or demons. But it's nothing compared. Like I've been involved with cases where there's been a demonic case, that I've been involved with, and it's like different. It's a different type of haunting. I think this might be something that was here originally before the house. And I don't know. It definitely has a negative nature. It can be very suppressing. It'll prey on weak people.
Right.
If you, and I try to tell people when they come here to stay on your toes. If you start feeling suppressed, real tired all of a sudden, if you're in a situation where you're trying to engage it, I advise not to. And I tell them to move on to do something different for a little while and then come back because
Yeah.
it'll just like snap all of a
Yeah.
sudden. It'll just start happening. Like you'll be getting positive communication on a spirit box, and all of a sudden you'll start getting swear words and negativity coming through.
Yeah. For sure. I was actually watching Paranormal Lockdown with Katrina
Nick,
and Nick,
Nick, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I had the same thing. They did a big thing about the flies in the room, and what tripped me out was Christina was back out in the woods, and Nick was in the girls' room, and Katrina was telling the spirits what to do to Nick in the house, and then the spirits did what she said, and like
Yeah,
you could literally hear them screaming from the house. Is that a thing there? Have
it's
you
yeah,
experienced that?
yeah. That was a really cool experiment that they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've done that. We've done the experiment many times after that. Like, we've used different like spirit portals as well, different spirit boxes on the outside and the inside of the house, and tried to ask questions and like write answers down. Somebody would be in the house with no knowledge at all, and somebody would be on the outside of the house asking questions or asking for something, and then the person on the inside is writing down the answers, and then they're correlating the two together after like a 15-20 minute session. Um, and it's worked numerous times.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't even think. It's, I don't know how
Yeah.
they communicate like that in 2 different spots. I don't.
Well, I mean, maybe the energy is able to go back and forth.
That's fair.
I'm not really 100% sure myself, but I've run the experiment at other locations as well, like Randolph County Infirmary. I ran one, Madison Seminary. I ran it, and it's worked in both situations. Like I'll be on the 3rd floor, somebody down in the basement. I was doing the experiment with Jeff Fent at the Randolph, and it's worked both times. And I felt like we were dealing with school children at both locations. So.
Yeah. So maybe they can move that fast to go into 2 different spots that fast.
But also it's like a delay too as well. So you're asking a question, and then maybe a couple minutes down the road he's getting the response. So I mean, maybe
Yeah.
not so much, but maybe they can move around too.
Huh. Now, from what I've been told, that they have shadows. You have all this experiments. You think the exorcism and the blessing and everything that Father Al did made it to what it is now, like energy wise, or
No, I think it's just not something that he was able to take care of, honestly. Like I've had since I've owned the house, I felt like, okay, so the Catholic exorcism didn't work. Maybe it will respond to something differently. Maybe it'll respond to a Wiccan. Maybe it'll respond
yeah,
to a Buddhist monk. Maybe it'll respond to a shaman. Um, so I've just been trying to bring any type of healing to the property and the location that I can since I've owned it,
right,
in order to bring out positive communication, so we can try to figure out this big puzzle. And it's a lot lighter than when I first got it, but the communication and the energy here is still the same. You know what I mean? It's still
right,
here.
right, yeah. It's just so I don't really like using the demon word,
It's okay.
but do you think that it's more not a demon, more of like a shapeshifter elemental since there was Indians and all that there?
I don't know that it's an
I mean,
elemental, but I feel like it could potentially be like a shapeshifter type of thing. There's been numerous psychics that have drawn pictures of what they think it is, and oddly similar, not knowing each other, drawing the same picture of a tall, stickly looking, creepy looking kind of humanoid figure. It's
yeah, yeah,
and maybe it's something that's been here with the land. It's attached to the land and the property that was here
right,
beforehand. So
right. More like a skinwalker type of thing, or
yeah, I don't know. No, not like a skinwalker, but maybe more like a cryptid looking
okay,
type of thing.
got yeah. Do you guys have like creeper shadows? Do you full figures or both?
Yeah,
Probably.
both actually, but the full bodied shadow figures are the ones that we capture the most on the outside of the house and inside of
Okay,
the house.
got yeah. So to go back to the dandy and they're having all these experiences, how did they get in contact with Father Owl? Like, did they go through the church, or did they have like
So
investigators come and they told them, or
no, so at first they were writing to this newspaper guy in Buffalo named Bob Curran, and
okay,
also coordinated with an Olean Times Herald, which was a newspaper here in Olean, who got her in contact with the priest at St. Bonaventure. Now, this priest, he was very much into the occult as well. Like he was into other religions and tried to understand on a compassion level what other people's belief systems were, so he could understand them. I would peg him as a pretty cool priest, as far as I'm concerned. Wish he was still alive and I could like take one of his classes.
yeah,
I'd really love to bend his ear.
yeah,
But he did what he could do for them. He tried. And it
right,
was like it's not something that was done a lot back then. This
yeah,
is like before the movie The Exorcist came out, before that was even a thing. This was in
right,
April of '74, and it was. I guess in the Catholic religion, it's more like a blessing. Like that's. But it is. They do a lot of stuff with the exorcism as well to bless the house, bless the property, and pretty interesting
yeah,
from
for
from
sure,
the from the from the records that we have and the verbal from Clara and all her notes and everything that she wrote down. It seemed just surreal to even be here when that happened, having the whole house shake, as they're doing the prayers and stuff, and having the family kneeling down in a circle in the living room here where I'm sitting right now. Just surreal.
wow. Now, after the exorcism, or is this before? Uh, was there obviously there's usually like an exorcist, a therapist, somebody, a medical, for all that. Did they take notes, or did they have reporters there to write this, or
They did. They had a film crew from New York City filming the whole thing, and that's not something that we've been able to recover or find to this day. But they were here. They had Alex Tanis, who was a medium, a psychic medium, who was here, one of better known back then, and then the priest himself here during the event when it happened. Also, Paul Kenyon was here while that happened, who was a family friend who was kind of like guarding the house.
yeah,
And you know, he comes to the house a lot too. He's still very drawn to it.
Well, now I don't know exactly how far you are from Wildwood. I don't know. It's a good
About
distance.
30 minutes.
Okay, so pretty much is you like I've talked to the Fairbanks house. Everybody knows that your house is the haunted house. Is that a thing there in your town, or?
So, yeah, I mean, we're very well known here in Hinsdale and Cattaraugus County. I've done a lot of work to let the town know that we're kind of want to be a productive part of the society here, you know, as opposed to just this whole haunted, you know, vibe of, you know. So, you know, it's a tourism, it's a tourism type of thing, you know, where people are hearing about this, watching it on TV, you know, just the same as the Christmas Carol movie, you know, like with the Christmas house in Cleveland. People just want to come and see the place and take a picture in front of it.
Yeah.
And it draws in a lot of people. I mean, it draws in a lot of people just curious people that maybe will come during the day and want to just walk around and do a day tour, and then the serious investigators who come in from all over the world to want to experiment here and try to help with the story. You know, it's just it's very, very well known.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to hear my friend's Tennessee Shadow Chasers is coming there soon.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see what they get and see the activity. You know what happens to them. So there's a difference between an exorcism on a person to exorcism on a house. What, in your knowledge or your like whatever that you tried to figure out, what is the difference between a person to a house?
I think that it's basically the easiest way to explain it is more like a house blessing. They were blessing the house, trying to rid the house of the negative energies that were here, as opposed to a person. So in essence, it's the same as an exorcism, but it was but they tried to rid the house of the negative that was here.
Got you.
They said
Now,
that they said as they were doing it that the whole house shook for like 20 seconds, and then it felt like lighter and cleared, you know, for a little bit.
right. Now, when you got it and you were doing renovations and everything, everybody knows once you start moving stuff and start fixing stuff, that activity ramps up a little more. Did you have that experience, or is it always been the same type of experience?
For me, it's always been the same type of experience, but for the workers that I've had come here, there's been numerous times where I've had workers here trying to work on the location. And like, for instance, when we were fixing the bathroom, one of the workers stated that the ladder got pulled out from underneath them and they left and they wouldn't come back and finish the job. So I guess it's all within reason, I guess, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything different, but the people that come here that aren't experienced with it, and it maybe experience something for the first time that they can't explain, you know, it freaks them out. So
Yeah. Have do people like, I'm not going there? Like, people know.
there are, oh yeah, there are people that will say, I'm not going anywhere near that house.
Yeah.
You know, they love to hear the stories. Like, I'll go, like this past Saturday, I was speaking in Lilydale, which is a community, a psychic community, about the location and doing a ghost walk there. And there had to be a couple people that were in the property that loved the house, loved the stories, but said, oh, I will never go there. They're too freaked out about even coming around it, you know?
Right. Wow.
They want to stay in their happy bubble.
Yeah, for sure. Now you mentioned day tours and everything. From what I understand, it's appointment only, correct?
Correct.
I know in like different locations, bigger locations, everybody says you get more activity during the day than night. Does it make a difference there?
No. Honestly, the only thing that I can say about night is it's a little bit spookier, and maybe you're using some of your other senses better at night than you are during the day, because it's dark out and you're maybe using your ears a lot more.
Yeah.
There's not any birds chirping or frogs creaking or any of that
Right.
stuff. It's just you're able to listen a lot more at night. And also, if there's something that is visible, it's a lot easier to see in the dark as well.
That's
As
true.
far as like a ghost goes or some type of energy that you can't see with your own eyes. Now, don't get me wrong, we've captured stuff during the day. We have full pictures of full body apparitions on the outside of the house and during the daytime and coming in
Wow.
the windows and around the pond and up in the tree by the trees. But I feel like it's just easier to collect the data at night for some reason. Probably because of your senses.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Now your eyes start playing tricks on you, and you got that mindset. You're like, oh shit, you're sitting in the dark. Yeah. Um. So something that we didn't get into in part one, that I'm really excited about, why Katrina was out in the woods and Nick was in the house. What exactly is this? Because from in the video, it looks like a bunch of offerings that you put on the tree. Is that more like Native American type of thing, or?
Yeah, so I had a after Nick and Katrina left, obviously there was a lot of draw to the forest, the dark forest behind the house, the energies that were in the forest, the feelings that you get when you went up there. And one of the people that helped me out at the house, her and her husband, Amy and Jason Brock, used to run the overnight tours for new guests, people that maybe weren't comfortable coming here by themselves, but wanted to have like a facilitated type of thing with
Yeah,
experienced investigators. So Amy started doing the overnight tours here. And during the overnight tours, she liked to do like different types of experiments and activities with the guests that were staying at the house. And one of the things she always liked to work with is opening that line of communication with the Native American spirits on the property, and by doing so, by making an offering to the
yeah,
land. And so she would always have like them like build like feathers and different types of offerings when they were here. And then they do like a little ceremony and let the energies on the property know what their intentions were, so it would make it easier for them to communicate with them while they were here during their stay, so they knew that they were there in positive light.
I don't know.
So it's become quite a spectacle now because even though Amy doesn't do the tours here anymore, her legacy still lives on at the location, with the amount of people that just know about this giving tree now, and it's become more than just a giving tree. It's become a giving wall because there's like lattice up there now, and there's all different things because it ran out of room to hang stuff, so
Yeah,
expanding, and it's positive energy, really good positive energy for the location.
does that bleed into the house at all?
I believe so. I believe it all corresponds with each other, like it all, you come in with positive energy, you're going to get more positive responses, in and
Yeah,
outside of the house.
yeah, for sure. I do have a couple photos of some energy or activity that I've gotten off of. Actually, before we do that, I was more curious about what this picture was, because I know, like in the Conjuring house, they have a wall, and the report was there was 7 soldiers in the wall. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the little girl got. Uh, is this a certain type of thing too, or is it?
No, this is fairly new. So, on the right side of the pond, when I first bought the location, it was all swamped out. All the dirt from the pond was dumped onto the right side of the pond. You couldn't really access the right side of the pond like it used to look back in the 70s. So I had to basically put an underground tunnel in from the aquifer that's up on the hill and have the water go through the tunnel underground to the pond so it didn't soak it anymore. And then
Yeah,
when we started leveling out the land and removing some of the old debris from the pond and flattening it out like it used to be like in the pictures, we came across what looked like a foundation on that side of the pond, and we just started digging it out. We're getting hits for metal. We're getting different hits. It's all stone tool, all really old. It's got to be like 17 to 1800s.
wow,
We don't know what it's from. It's not on any maps that we can. We have the house dated back to 1853, but any maps that we have, we don't see any structure on this property that looks the size of this building or what it may have been. So we don't really know. That there was a barn at one point, but it was over by where the pond was. We've actually pulled remnants out of the pond from the barn.
Oh
But
wow.
this is something completely different, and it's again another mystery to this land and the property. Could it have been a different homestead? Could it be the burial shafts that are behind the behind there? That's where we found the burial shafts. Maybe that's from an old home from those people that are buried there. A lot of questions, more questions than answers that I have at this point, but it's just
Yeah.
another cool thing, that's here.
Have you got anybody out there to investigate it to see if they gotten anything out there?
Yeah, we've gotten some great EVPs. I even got one like when I first got it. I thought it maybe had to do with the barn, and I asked why the barn had burned down, and it said my EVP I got it said insurance. So it's kind of funny just to get an answer like that. They could be joking or not, but
Yeah,
as far as getting answers to what the building is or was, not yet. We don't really know yet,
got ya.
but we're
I
gonna we're gonna continue to excavate it when we have time.
got ya. I didn't know if it was like a certain type of thing, like because for some reason they always had like a wall structure around all their properties back then. I
No,
don't.
you can see this. It's definitely in a rectangle shape. So
Okay,
it's not a wall. It's not like a fence of any kind. It's definitely a basement,
got ya.
or we don't know how. It's probably about 2 feet deep.
Huh? Maybe it was.
But then again, back then maybe it wasn't deep. Maybe that's just how it was. The land
Yeah,
can change throughout time. So
for sure. Maybe it was like a cooling room. Keep all their
it's
meat and stuff.
it's
Or
it's like double the size of the Hinsdale House. I mean, it's huge. It would be a big building. So I don't know.
huh? And you've looked in all the blueprints and everything.
Yep. Everything that we can find doesn't show any building or structure in the spot where we found this. So,
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
and
It
just
looks
think
old
to
too.
think like it's just up on this is up on the middle of a hill. Like it's like what the
Yeah,
heck could it have been this size of a building way back then? So,
yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, but I want to get into a couple of these photos. I think I showed them a couple at part one, but I mean, is this the type of shadows that you see outside and you see them inside?
both, yeah, we've captured that. Now this is in the middle of the winter. This is right when it started snowing out, and so all those white streaks are actually snowflakes.
Wow,
And that's the type of shadow that we capture on the outside of the house. We capture it coming to the inside of the house. We capture it in the living room. We capture it on the steps. It's a tall shadow, man.
wow. Does
All
he
right.
does he interact, or is he kind of just one of those shadows that are just there watching?
Oh no, it can interact, and sometimes it's like the one person was posing for a picture on the stairs, and you could see like it put its hand out just so it could be in the picture. So I mean, it does interact with people.
So it's very aware of the surroundings.
Yes, I believe so.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Um, Now, I mean, I
Yeah,
think we talked about this last time. It literally looks like she's wearing like a yellow ball dress. Like,
yeah. And it's right outside of Laura's room. Laura has passed away. We believe that's her. I even showed that picture to Clara, and she said, "Yeah, that's my Laura." She confirmed it right away.
wow. Now, what's the story with Laura?
She was one of the dandy children, and she was the one that was most affected by the energies here. She was getting physical altercations, scratches, and she predicted her death.
Wow,
She saw the old hag out by the pond. She was affected here probably the most out of any of the children that lived here.
wow. See,
Yeah.
the more and more we talk about it, the more and more it's like similarity it does have to the Conjuring House, because it did the same thing to Nancy there. Like it picked the one smallest girl to pick
Well,
on.
the thing was, is she wasn't the smallest.
Oh,
She wasn't the youngest, and I don't know. Maybe maybe easier to choose. I don't know. Maybe mentally, I don't know. I don't know Laura. I don't know, what the situation was back then. But
Yeah.
you know, it's sad either way. So
See, I don't know what it is about like the '70s and all of that, like the Ed and Lorraine Warren era type of thing. It seemed like ghosts and exorcism and everything was like the thing back in the '70s. Was
yeah,
it
I
more
mean,
of like, because I know The Exorcist came out in the '70s, so maybe people
it,
saw that and started putting two and two together type of thing, or
yeah, I think that's a lot of what has to do with it. Just like they do with, I think movies have a way of prepping people for what's going to happen in the future, even though
yeah,
it seems not real to us.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
20 years ago, they're alien movies, and now they're releasing files about aliens, and making it a reality. Like
yeah,
it's the Catholic and Christianity did exorcisms for a long time, and it was always prevalent, but not something that people dove into on a normal basis. And then after
yeah,
the movie came out, that's what people talked about. If something happened, oh, there's a demon in the house. Like
yeah,
but it's something that probably that was there the whole time. Or it's just more recognizable now because people are thinking about it more.
for sure. Do you think that feeds the spirits? Do you think that feeds the energy?
What, as far as what, fear?
As I mean, you walk into the Hinsdale house, you're already kind of tempted just because you know the story. And I know if you walk in with a certain mind frame, there's something that's going to jump out at me every 2 seconds. I feel like you get a lot more energy when you go in scared.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's but we don't know that for sure. Like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's perhaps. I mean, it's a theory, right?
yeah. I just didn't know if people go in scared more than people that are more grounded and more focused. They mess with those people more than the focused people.
I
I
think.
guess.
I mean, as far as like the investigators that I get here, most of them are pretty experienced,
Okay.
and come with a little bit of background. Very rarely do I have overnight people staying that have never done this before.
Okay.
Like I will generally recommend for them to do like an overnight with a facilitator first before
Okay.
to just come in and dive right in without having any experience could be kind of crazy, not
Yeah.
knowing how
Yeah.
to not knowing how to deal with it.
Right. I guess that's what I was kind of getting to, but not getting to. I guess.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Um. So I know, like new investigators, they don't think more about the consequences more than an experienced investigator. They know what they can get into, other than somebody buying an SP7 and like, oh, I'm a spirit box.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I didn't know if they got messed with more than the seasoned investigators. I guess I would say.
Trying to get a little bit more light in here.
You're good, man.
Oh,
Um,
I don't want to become a shadow for your show.
yeah, right. It's all good. Um, now I So, are you part of the Appalachian Mountains that far up? Are you part of that trail, or
No, no, it's called the Enchanted Mountains, Allegheny Mountains.
okay, got ya.
Yeah.
Now, does that have the same folklore as the Appalachian Trail and all that? Don't go out at night. Don't whistle. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, you have that folklore here as well. I mean, it's they call them the Enchanted Mountains for a reason, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, Now you mentioned like elementals and spirits and more Native American. Do you believe that that's what this is?
Yes.
Like that, I don't even know what that is, but you can definitely. It looks like a pig snout, to be honest, with a big old black eye.
Yeah, I was thinking more like monkey kind of looking. Like I looked at a lot of
Yep.
different things, and the only explanation I ever had was a puckwudgie and a protector of Native
Oh,
American burial grounds, a type of cryptid.
Yeah, yeah. Have you seen something like this with your own eyes, or?
No, but there's been 3 different groups of investigators that have captured pictures of it
Okay.
while being here. So I think I've heard it. I think I may have heard it up there. I've heard it rustling around. It's always something that you feel like is, and again, it could be an animal, maybe it could be something else, but you always feel like something's watching you when you're up there, when you go up into that forest, and I don't know, just get a kind of weird feeling when you go up there.
Yeah. Now you mentioned in the beginning you have like a fire pit and everything. When you guys sit out there, do you have that same type of feeling, like you're kind of just on edge?
Not on edge, but you definitely have that feeling. The hill's right there behind you. The steps to go up to the hill are right behind the fire pit, and
Okay.
you put yourself in the middle of nowhere, and
Yeah.
it's like there's always that like what if
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah. For sure. Now, do you see shadows like in the tree line, like the movies
Yeah,
do, or is that a real thing?
yeah, oh yeah, we've captured that many times outside at night. um, Different lights coming from the forest, like different twinkling lights that make no sense whatsoever, like no idea where they're coming from. Like different like colors too, like blues, yellows, purples. I remember the one night we went out there, it looked like it was the hill was on like lighting up from all these different lights that were coming through the forest. It was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a kind of magical looking.
It's gotta stick up to the name, Enchanted Forest. I guess
Right. Yeah.
that's a good way to do it. Make it all sparkle. Yeah, that's
Now
that's
there's been
awesome.
there's been teams and groups that have tried to capture these lights and things up close, and I've had some remarkable pictures of looks like maybe like a fairy, and I don't know what people believe, what they don't believe, but it looks like it could be like a fairy of some kind or some type of little creature. Some looks in the shape of a mushroom, kind of in a way. Just weird, really weird.
That's that's pretty crazy. I mean, people do believe in fairies and all of that stuff, woodly creatures and stuff. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know too much about cryptids to get into it. So,
No, yeah, it's good to mention though.
yeah, for sure. I'd like to know. And I would love to see that. Just to sit out there in the dark and just look in the woods. And
There's some people that specialize just in that type of stuff. That's what they want to come here for, is just that.
yeah, wow. Now I have one more.
Oh yeah.
Now I've been trying to see a face in this. What do you see?
I don't. I mean, that could be. I mean, we've had numerous pictures. There's better ones than that one, as far as
Okay.
like the face coming out of the window. Um, but there's definitely a change in the lighting in the background. In the window, it could be the window itself too, because they were old glass. Depending on how the reflection on the camera was. I mean, there's explanations for this picture that I've had in the past that, where I can say, okay, maybe this is debunkable. But we've
Yeah.
also had some other ones that are pretty good. So
I mean, from what I see, it literally looks like a small doll's face.
yeah, yeah. But it could also be pixelation. It could be, something with the screen. It could be a lot of different things. So
The light coming off the camera into the window and everything. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
but it's still cool. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
yeah, pretty neat picture.
Now, I ask this every time that I do an interview with a location. Do you guys sit there in the windows and watch and see if you see stuff in the windows from outside?
I do.
Yeah.
I know like other investigators that come here will as well. They'll purposely put their chairs facing the house when they're at the fire, so they can watch the windows upstairs, just to see if they see anything or a light or anything happen while they're back there.
And what have you seen
I've
from
seen
outside?
I've seen bursts of light coming out of Mary's room when there's nobody in the house at all, just like there, and there's no reason for there to be light in there. There's no electricity in her room. I've seen what looks to be like a human figurine in Laura's window, peeking out the window. Just like this white figure, kind of like the dress that you saw in that picture.
Yeah.
So I've seen that as well.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Do you guys do like events where you invite people for the fire and everything and just hang out, or?
Yeah, we have different types of events. We're all different, like we're doing one with Heather Taddy and Dustin Perry coming up in July.
Okay.
It will be like a investigation fireside chat type of thing,
That's
fun
cool.
time, relaxing time, so it'll be
Yeah.
fun. And
Well,
it's cool because when they come in, we don't do like 100 people, it's like we're gonna sell like 40 tickets and that's it, and half will be with Heather, half will be with Dustin, then we'll rotate them around. And so it's a small group experience at a haunted location as opposed to just like being a number. I can't stand
yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a very big house either, from what I see.
No, it's not. But the property opens itself up though.
Okay. Trying to cram 40, 50 people in that house is
No,
really
not gonna happen.
impossible to investigate. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Wow. So
when we don't have a celebrity here, we keep the groups under 20. But if we have a celebrity here, we'll split them up into smaller groups, and half will be outside, half will be inside.
got ya. And I know, like, legal reasons you're not allowed to say anything, but do you have a lot of like TV stations and everything still trying to come to the house to film, or more of like just investigators?
No, everything. Yeah, like I just I've been contacted by National Geographic right now. They're doing something, and I had to provide some pictures for them for a story that they're doing on the house. So there's yeah, I mean, we get a lot of local news stations too. Like we'll have like some affiliates, especially around like Halloween and stuff. They'll come in here. A lot of radio stations that will have events here or want to do their show here. So there's a lot of interest in it.
That's cool. Now, I have a couple videos I do believe that we played in part one, but I love them and I figured we could play them again. Why not?
Sure.
So here's one of the videos.
Let's play a game, Laura. If you're up here, I'm going to knock on the wall. If you're in your room, could you please knock back? I was just about to say, touch that ball.
Hi, honey. Sorry, you spooked me. You're very cold when you get near.
Wow. Do you hear audible voices like that all the time?
I do. And many people have experienced that themselves here as well. And actually, an investigator that was here yesterday was just telling me about one that she heard as well. It's happens more than you know. And the cool thing is with the cameras that we have running here now, like we have the 5 cameras that are continuously rolling, collecting data, and we provide that footage to the teams that are here. There's so many EVPs that are collected on the cameras from the microphones. They'll be like me and you will be talking right now, and you'll be asking a question, and if something, we'll answer it, and they'll have it on the recording on this camera. It's funny.
Well, if you get anything, let me know.
All
Send
right.
it to me for sure. Here's another video.
Okay, I'm going to ask a series of yes and no questions. If you could ring the bell 1 time for yes and 2 times for no, that would help. Please and thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You still here with us?
Okay, thank you.
Do you think I'm real?
I know that you are real. Why did I have an attitude?
I don't know.
Oh my gracious.
We've
never sounded like that before.
We know you're real. We've sensed you.
No. Okay.
Wow, I love that bell. I have a bell
Yeah.
myself. I love it.
It's cool, right?
Yeah. So with this tree, did they just randomly pick a tree, or did somebody just did you get a feeling off of that area?
Yeah, Amy's a medium. She's a very much a spiritualist, and she felt drawn to that tree and
Okay,
picked that specific tree for the whole process.
got ya. That's awesome. So, out of anything that you do in this house, what's your favorite experience so far from owning it, activity wise?
Probably the experience I had in the kitchen before I owned it. One of the reasons I decided to move forward with purchasing it was the experience that I had with Flo and Joe Misnick in the kitchen, or not so much Joe, but Flo.
Yeah.
We were filming for my YouTube show. It was like our last hurrah here at the location. They allowed us to come in this last time. The house had no electrical, no duct work. Everything was ripped out of it. It was ready to be torn down, and we were in the kitchen, and they were talking about the failed structural exorcism, and it was Tim Shaw and my co-founder Cameron and Michelle, the caretaker of the house at the time, and nothing was happening. And then when I had done some research on Flo and Joe, they I said, Flo, are you here? And I had a tingling sensation up my arm. I had a K2 meter in my hand, and it went all the way up to 500 milligauss, like she was
Wow.
like telling me she was here. And we continued to have what I felt like was a conversation with her. And then I asked her if she would hold my hand as we went up the steps. And I've never had this happen before. I had the K2 meter stay lit up in my hand all the way up the steps into the master bedroom. My photographer, who came in after we were done, plastered pictures on the steps and caught these ghostly legs on the steps, which was really
Wow.
creepy. And so I was like, there's some a lot of unanswered questions here, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is like one of the reasons I wanted to buy the location, because there's so many stories that need to be told and remembered.
For sure. Now, jumping fast forward to 74 to 1999, the Simpsons slaying. Uh, from what I believe, there was two men arguing. One shot one.
They're brothers.
Was it brothers? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that story, or?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've been told is that it was the one of the brothers was transferring his belief systems to Jehovah's Witness, and they got into a very heated conversation to the point where it became deadly, and yeah, it's an unfortunate situation,
Wow.
where people can just have a civil conversation. I know, and it's even your brother,
Yeah.
about religion, to be so passionate about it that you would want to kill somebody. Doesn't seem right, because it's one of the 10 commandments in both of those religions. So
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you think the house had any influence in that? Do you think it more like a Amityville type of thing? You feel like if you've been in the house more and more and more, it messes with your head type of thing, or?
I don't think so, and I think that it didn't happen like on the property. It like happened down the street,
Okay.
and in the forest. But I mean, it was I just think it was when people are doing research of the location, they're trying to pull like what deaths happened here, what deaths happened around the property, and they find that story about the Simpson brothers, and then they just try to pin it into the story of the house, where I don't think it really has anything to do with the house. I think it has to do with a heated conversation about religion that turned deadly, and
Yeah.
it happened down the road, but
Got it.
because it was close, people always talk about it like it has, something to do with the house,
For sure. Now, do you get, with it being right down the road, being on the type of property, do you get anything from the brothers activity wise, AVPs, or?
Not that I know of. Well, the one brother just got released out of prison like 2 years ago that killed him. He was in so he's there's one still alive, but we have gotten a lot of people associate the shadow figure and it looks like he's carrying like a gun, like with him, like that maybe try to associate that with one of the Simpson brothers that passed away. but I wouldn't know for sure. But there is definitely a shadow figure that we've captured that looks like he's carrying like a rifle.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, do you have anything that you would like to promote? Anything coming up, or?
I'd like to promote a couple of my appearances that I'll be having in July. I have another event at Lilydale Assembly, which is a really cool psychic community in Lilydale, New York, in Cattaraugus County. I'll be doing a presentation there, and then we're going to do a ghost walk. It's about a 3-hour program, which is kind of fun. And then, of course, the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, at the end of July, the 24th, 25th, 26th. I'll be there. It'll be my return. I haven't been there in a couple of years because of my daughter's cancer, but it's always an amazing event with amazing people that come, and all to do good, paranormal, giving back to the veterans and giving back to cancer patients, which is near and dear to my heart. Both of them are actually, really. So
Absolutely.
it's a great event. It's always been a great event, and I look forward to being part of it again this year.
That's awesome. But
then in July 11th is Dustin Perry and Heather Taddy's event here at the house, and there's a few tickets left for that. So if anybody's interested in going on that, check out the Hinsdale House social media and get a ticket.
I will post everything on there on the Underworld page for you, so people know where to go.
Oh, one more event too. So in July we do a yearly camp out. And Tiffany, the girl that you saw in the video with the dead bell, she helps run the event every year, and you can get tickets for that at hauntedhinsdalehouse.com as well.
Nice. Awesome.
Come and camp here for 3 nights. That's an experience.
That's awesome. That'd be really fun. Do you get to investigate the house and the grounds and everything all 3 days, or?
Yeah, nobody stays in the house. The house is open the whole time to investigate. People have to sleep in tents. So it's like a campground area out in the back of the house,
like a
around the fire pit.
Camp out. That's cool.
And then they also bring in guest speakers like Native American speakers, MUFON speakers. And then during the day, we have kayaks to go on the pond. We have different games you can play outside and chill and relax and enjoy yourself too, like a regular camp out.
Nice. That's awesome. But thank you, Daniel. I know you're a busy guy, and I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us again.
Yeah, no problem.
Maybe we can get together and do a walkthrough of the house sometime, or investigate it sometime.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on, and here's a word from our sponsor. What's up, Underworld Ministry? I just wanted to come on and let you know about our brand new sponsor, Incredible. You need banners, you need thank you cards, business cards, postcards, custom stickers. Let us know. You have a podcast, you need a new banner, go to Incredible. It's custom designs available, full print, professional layout assistance, small business friendly, quick turnaround. I use these stickers. You have bands, you have a paranormal group, you have anything that needs stickers, use Incredible. And if you see this video, use my promo code Underworld10 and you will get a discount on everything that you get. So again, go to Incredible and tell them I sent you. Remember, always stay creepy. I think we lost Daniel, but it's okay. Thank you so much again, brother, for coming and hanging out with us. Remember, always stay creepy, friends.